Abed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what they said? What they keep saying?
No.
They think that we're dead.
Yeah.
They think that we're dead for 3 months. For 3 months, no podcast, no nothing. Those 10 people who listen to this, they think we're dead.
I wonder whose fault is it?
Fireflies.
Okay. What?
I don't know why. It's just just fireflies.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, bear with me. Fucking fireflies,
Yeah,
guys.
Fuck fireflies, and they're flying with their wings and their long tails.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck them. But nonetheless, after 3 months, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Before the Punchline Comedy Podcast. I've almost forgotten the name of this show, but I was able to remember it, and we're back! Yay! And we're back to those 10 people who listened to this. And by the way, the reason why there were no episodes before for 3 months is because I am a lazy ass.
Or maybe because you're using those fucking things that I don't want to record a podcast with them. Maybe.
Yes! I'm going to be raping your ears with these effects.
Yeah, start with the word raping.
Yeah, all right. So,
have you listen, man, off topic from the beginning. Have you ever been with someone who talked so much and you just drifted away
about nothing, about everything and nothing. That's our podcast.
While having sex.
I've been having some weird ideas while I was having sex, at some point. I remember once I was like, the sex was going on at that point for like 10 minutes, and I'm thinking, why the fuck am I not finishing?
Wait a second. Were you in the spectator side, or were you in the, active listener side?
That doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah.
That doesn't really matter.
I'm joking, but I can't. So my girlfriend, like, she's amazing. I have to say this, and it wasn't like when we were there together, but she was like we're together, and she's talking, and I know what she's talking about is so important for her, but my mind went somewhere else, and at one point I was like, I'm afraid of my mind.
And you were like, you must leave right now.
Yeah, that's what I told my mind. I was like, you must leave. No, I go back to listening to you. And it's so good that she was, oh my God, she's going to listen to this.
She will.
Oh, sorry, honey. And it gets to the climax of her story. And I go, oh, she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. And thank God she did not ask me, and what do you think about that?
Yeah. You know those, when you are out of the conversation, you're like in your own head, and at some point when the conversation ends, you throw in like the most basic general phrases, like, yeah, I actually agree with you. Yes. And the other person was like, but I was talking about how one blogger was talking about how pedophilia is legit. I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, we are getting canceled, right?
Yeah, man. Bloggers.
I mean, we've talked so much shit already for the past year on this show, so...
No, actually, we were not talking so much shit. The first 20 minutes, yeah. But
the first 20 minutes.
And then the last 40 minutes.
We always go off topic, I actually, I wondered, are there any people who listen to this and didn't like the podcast, because nobody will tell you in your face that I don't like it, yeah?
Yeah.
You know who did tell me that? My wife.
Are you serious?
Yeah. She was like, you guys are unbearable to listen to.
Well, tell her that's why we love her.
I told her that's why I don't talk to you during sex.
Okay. To me, yeah, man. You never talk to me during sex. We just go action, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, what's that favorite movie of yours? Oh my God, I forgot. With Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson.
The best
Fast and Furious,
the best car documentary ever.
Poor cars,
Yeah,
I think that fewer people died during the Stalingrad occupancy, than during that movie.
I'm seriously, when you're watching like movies, although sorry, none of them were good. Any car boom boom movie. I don't know what you call
Car
it.
boom boom.
Yeah. Do you ever like look at it and go, but this is like a $10,000 car. Why did you do this to the car?
I always think, give this car to me. Don't
Yeah,
fucking
man.
break it.
I always look at it as like, why? And there was once when I was watching documentaries about how they make like these movies, and some of them I was so happy because it wasn't the car; it was just a cardboard box of a car or something. I was like, thank God. And then I was like, give me the cardboard box of the car. That'd be amazing. It can move, you know.
You remember those Indian Bollywood movies from the 80s where there is like a car chase scene and the car just jumps, over
Yeah.
some kind of mountain, I don't know, and into the stratosphere, and the frame changes and you can see that the car is a toy car, like it's hanging on a fucking twine, and they're just
Actually,
holding
this
it
was
there.
not in the 80s. This was like last year in the movie.
Really? I want to watch that movie.
Because in India, and people can correct me on this, so they have Bollywood, which is like the most prominent, and they have so each region has its own Hollywood. I don't know. So one has Bollywood, and there's another there are another other two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and these are like one of them is like the southern, I think, the southern Indian movie film production companies. Those are the freaky ones.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the Bollywood one is the ones they spend like $5 more,
That's the only difference,
Yeah, that's it.
We're much higher in value because we spend $5 more on the
And-
production.
And they bring porn stars to act as heroines in the.
Does anyone actually know at least one Indian porn star?
I
'Cause-
can name 3 probably. Wait, male or female?
Which one do you prefer? The question should be formulated like this.
I would like to change the. I would like to choose B, which is let's change the topic. But one other thing that actually now is pissing me off so much, man, which I really need to talk about in stand up. Do you know in Google they removed the dislikes?
Oh, yeah, on YouTube.
Sorry.
YouTube, yeah,
Google.
they removed the dislikes. Yeah, although you can bypass it. There is they have already come up with a special toolbar. You can install it on your browser and you can see the dislikes as well.
I need to add more. How do you call it? RAM used on my phone, which is has already 2 kilobytes of RAM.
Which is
thank you.
actually a brick, like a real brick.
Basically. And they removed the dislike, and I was so pissed off, man. I was like, how will I know if this is a good video or not?
Exactly. Only the person who published this video will know that.
I don't know. I like when I see a video with how do you call it? With 2,000 dislikes, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. This should be amazing.
Yeah, no. When I see the video which has 90% dislikes, I'm like, what in the fuck is happening here? I need to watch this.
Did you watch the new trailers about Blizzard?
Oh my god, yeah,
World
they
of Warcraft?
got dislike bombed.
It wasn't actually dislike bomb. This is actually so what I usually do when I read dislikes, when I see when I used to read there's so many dislikes, I used to read the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no problem reading 150. I know I should get a life. I know I get it. 150 comments. If there's 900, and I would read 150 just to see does this match. Maybe, and you cannot imagine. So Blizzard has had a really really bad 2 or 3 years almost. And never mind the rape
Allegations, yeah,
or
and so on and so forth.
or that the CEO. Here's a funny thing about the CEO, Bobby Kotick. He wrote. There's one of the CEOs, one of the the workers there, was accused of being offensive or whatever. So
Mhm.
she wrote an apology. Yeah. A
Okay.
few weeks ago, it was apparent that Bobby Kotick wrote her apology,
And
made
she
her read,
published it.
made her read the apology in front of everybody, and he was the one who wrote it. Not, it wasn't even her apology.
Which just proves to show that it's a shitty thing to be a CEO, and it's a shitty thing to be a fucking shitbag.
Well, man, but here's the thing, and then it's so funny. I think a month ago or so, he was like, "Oh, I'll drop my salary from millions of dollars per year to like $46,000.
Dollars, yeah.
And everyone was like, "Yeah, good job, Bobby." And the other half, the dislike half, were like, "You know that he's like a bajillionaire."
Yeah,
right?
he has like probably about $200 million in his pocket in cash right now, you know.
Yeah, he was friends with Epstein, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people have drawn that connection, by the way, as well. Yeah.
Well, man, of course. And so, so what happened is that Blizzard has been having a really bad year.
Yeah, sorry, just one more thing. Such bad of a year that Activision Blizzard has been sued not by one person, not by a few people, by the fucking state of California. The state is suing the company.
And not only that, so they let out like one trailer of their like the new expansion Shadowlands. They're like letting out the trailer about they're gonna close the chapter, and people just saw the first 10 seconds. No, I think 10 to 15 seconds, and that's when it went from 0 dislikes to 16,000. I was like, it just went like if you would see, like, because we watched it live. You know, I was waiting for it because I stopped playing World of Warcraft now. Now I love losing my life to Final Fantasy, and what happened is that 1 second, yeah. So I'm watching it live, and I watched the dislike meter go
skyrocketing
off the fucking roof. I was like, I wish I had a stand-up. I would do a stand-up and I get this many dislikes. I'll get so famous. Because I heard there was one here in Russia when a rapper like was singing for the state and he got like 1 million dislikes.
Oh yeah,
Not million,
yeah,
I don't know how.
yeah. That was right before the elections, and in the rap song, it was like, "Oh, look at how Moscow has changed," you know, while this guy is running it, you know, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that was. Yeah, that was the record-breaking dislike ratio, at least for Russian YouTube. I remember that.
I was so, man, it's so amazing. How can you not see your product? You know, it's the same with stand-up. You know, like we watch, like you're looking at a comedian or whatever. You're like, wait, why are you? Okay, do you watch what you're doing? And then they tell you, "Oh, I know what I'm doing." I was like, "Oh man, come on, man!"
Like, how can you tell that your jokes are great when you're not even writing these jokes?
Well, not writing, like at least
I know,
watching. You know, well, that's for other people, you know.
Yeah. Let's not point fingers.
Oh no, I'm not pointing fingers because right now, well, not right now. Like I remember there was once when we were like watching this comedian, and me and you just look at each other. It's like, oh man. Could this person just stop stealing, you know? And then we're like, and then this person's like fucking up the punchline. You know, and the delivery. I was like, at least do the delivery properly.
Yeah, because you can at the very and we even talked about it. You told me at least when you were stealing, at least you delivered it properly, and I was like, yep, I did.
Yeah, man, this is so funny, man.
It is a funny, crazy world. Yeah, you know, on the point of the dislikes, remember that debacle when Blizzard several years ago they announced the Diablo for mobile.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and for mobile like tools. Fucking tools. Oh my god, devices. Yeah, I remember the word. And there were so many dislikes under this video, you know, and there were about 30,000 likes, and one comment just killed me. You know, the comment went, 30,000 likes were put for the guy who asked them, "Is this some kind of a joke?" You know, just for that guy.
What he asked was he got onto the mic, which was like they were so happy. They're like, "Oh, tell us what you think of us." And he got to the mic and he was like, "Is this some kind of like really late April's Fool jokes?"
Yeah. He was great, and they just fell off. They didn't know what to say.
Yeah, well, definitely, because here's the funny thing. Well, we're away off our main stand-up topic, but so now, like, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, and one of the reasons is that, like, among my friends who are now playing it and all this, what happened? There's one thing that happened is that the producer of the game now, the director of the game. He just goes on and he talks to these bloggers or these streamers, He looks at them and he goes, I wonder if these developers play their own game.
Yeah, right.
You know, and at that point, the streamers who were watching this, who some of them were like, you could say, WoW players. You know, they were WoW players. They go this and they all just face palm, because it's obvious that you don't even watch your own product. You know, it's like you don't watch your own movie. This is what's so amazing for me. For example, about Tarantino. When he was asked, why do you make movies? He's like, I love making movies.
He loves what he does. Yeah, exactly.
I love making movies. What the fuck are you talking about? I'll make a movie of a banana killing a cucumber. You know, and going, do you speak English, motherfucker? You know, he doesn't care. That was so good about it. Yeah.
No, that's obviously true, you know. And I've watched documentaries about the Final Fantasy XIV developers, how they basically gave a new life to the game all those years ago after the release. Because here's the thing, I'm not playing Final Fantasy right now, but I was one of those people who actually were the first beta testers of the original Final Fantasy XIV.
1.0.
Yeah, I remember that. I played the game on the release. I even paid for subscription. And even then I was like, this is like Lineage 2. Yeah. And Lineage 2, I'm sorry, I'm going to offend a lot of people, is shit. Because it's just grind. No quests, no story, no nothing, you know. Just grind and bosses. That's it. What's the point of playing the game, you know, if it's so endless? I mean, no points.
In this 1.0, just a quick recap. So they put out the Final Fantasy 14 1.0. It was the first version. It was so bad that they literally blew up the game and made a new game. But what did they do, which was amazing? So one of the things they did is this: they brought this director. His name is now he's nicknamed like Yoshi P. Yeah, Yoshida something, I forgot. So Yoshi P. And he came, and the first thing he said, this is literally what he said, asked all the developers, do you play
the game?
Not even the game. Do you play like other
MMOs,
massive multiplayer online games? And they were like, no. And it's like, then how do you know how to develop?
Because this is the problem. They had already had experience developing MMOs.
Yeah.
There was Final Fantasy 11, 11, I think was. Yeah, it was the online MMO for PS2, way back when for PS2. And that MMO actually was pretty successful, at least in Japan. They had like a million players at one point online. But it was very different from the original, from like typical MMOs, like World of Warcraft. Yeah, I remember that the guy who was a part of localization team, he was interviewed for that documentary, and he was talking about how the first time that he played World of Warcraft, he was like, holy shit, I can up my level in less than 3 days, you know, without constant grind, like it was in Final Fantasy 11. And Final Fantasy 11 online, it had a very non-typical combat system because it was turn-based combat system, which is very barbaric to imagine right now in modern-day MMOs. And originally, they wanted to copy-paste that combat system into the Final Fantasy XIV. Thank God they didn't, because that would have been the end of the game.
Is that what this guy Yoshi P did? And if nobody watched, you should watch this documentary, not because of the game of anything, because of what he did. You could see how a business was... not even a business, Square Enix, the company, it's already a booming company, like it's already working really well, but how he saved the jobs of so many people, and he had to force them.
For 14 months. Only
exactly.
For 14 months. Just imagine this.
Less than 2 years.
They remade the game from the ground zero up to what it is right now for 14 months.
And not only that, do you know what also they did? So here's why I love this so much, and I think if us in stand-up, if we talk about how stand-up, that we should give a shit more about our comedians, and us like as comedians, everyone as a community, and the audience at the same time. There's no such thing. Of course you get this. The audience members like, oh, I didn't like this show. Yeah, of course, like you take the majority of the thing, but you also consider a little bit of what they said. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Like this is the question that I wanted actually to. One of the questions that I want to discuss today.
Let me just finish this thought, and then we'll go back to stand-up topic.
Okay.
And what they did is the players. Now imagine how many players Final Fantasy like this 1.0 had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the players, they gave them discount on subscription. Yeah. They gave them like so many. How do you call it? Not advantages.
Perks, yeah.
Perks, yeah. For them, why? Because they stuck with them.
Yeah, because no matter what, they still kept it together with them, through thick and thin, they say.
They were like, hey, you stuck with us. And here's it. And not only that, they actually asked the players. They went on Reddit. They went on like all of the social media. And they told them, how can we make the game better?
Talk about listening to the feedback of your fan base.
Yeah, imagine. And in a company, that's a very hard thing to do. Like because it's a very hard thing to take what they think. Because there you get so many ideas. You get like so many people telling you, "Oh, you guys are bad. You guys are like negative feedback," and it's very hard to get the proper positive constructive criticism, let's say.
It is very difficult to accept the constructive criticism, especially when you have been fed delusions for years or months or years that you have done such a great thing. You have been doing such a great thing. Just like stand-up.
Well, but that's such a nice thing, like to how they give a shit about their fan base. They took care of their fan base, and not only did they take care of their fan base, they actually listened to them. So before they gave their fan base something, they listened to the fan base first. They improved on it, and it's so good that it was all in secret.
Nobody knew anything about that.
Yeah, and if you haven't, I think I forgot the name of the documentary. It's just like type Final Fantasy 14 documentary and you'll see it. It's a 3-part documentary.
And you know what? The funny thing is that the history repeats itself, but with different projects. Right now, we have the same story with Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
Because if you've heard about that fucking debacle, of a game, oh my God, this is just... It's so crazy because Battlefield had such a great chance to skyrocket and take over this year as the best multiplayer shooter, because Call of Duty Vanguard was shit. They didn't even advertise it. Think about it. The day after the release of Vanguard, they started advertising their next Call of Duty game, hyping. When the fuck have you seen them do that? Start advertising the next project a day after the release of the current one.
Because it's Activision Blizzard. And right now, everything is going on how do you call it? DEFCON 5,
Oh, yeah.
Red alert.
And so what happened? Yeah, in short, just close the topic of this gaming discussion. Hey, we're gamers, we love talking about this. So what happened with Battlefield
next
2042?
Anime.
Yeah, next will be anime, right? So Full Metal Alchemist.
Don't let me start it. Yeah.
So what happened with Battlefield 2042 after Call of Duty failed miserably? Everyone was like, okay, Battlefield will kick ass this year. Because I'm one of those guys who still, from time to time, plays Battlefield 2.
Oh my God!
Battlefield 2, the servers are still alive.
When you press start, like start game, does it like there's dirt that comes out, dust comes out?
It just goes right into my face, and then I have a rash all over my face. Yeah. And so I still play Battlefield 2. Battlefield 3, in my opinion, is like the best Battlefield, the best FPS shooter of our generation. So what happened is they were like, okay, Battlefield's going to kick ass. Then the beta comes out. It's buggy, it's glitchy. Yeah. And what's the scariest thing, at least for me, was to hear from all those reviewers. Yeah, they were like, this looks an awful like Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. And then they started kind of looking for excuses, They were like, oh no, guys, that's like the original build of the game. That's not what the game will look like. I'm like, yeah, but the release is in a month. Yeah. You're not going to be able to do anything. and they were throwing dust into our eyes. And then the release came. Guess what? Nothing has changed. It's the same buggy shit, glitchy shit, and Battlefield goes into this strategy right now where they make like really big scale maps with 256 players, which is impossible to play. And a lot of gamers have said about this, have expressed their concern about this. Why do they keep doing that? I have no fucking idea. Yeah. But still, all of these large fucking maps, and they are empty. Mm-hmm. Like there are no buildings, no nothing. It's just desert. And after they have released the game, the concepts of the original concepts starting being leaked online, and on those concepts, all of those maps are full with like interesting objects. There is like on one of the maps, after some time of playing, there was supposed to be a tsunami which would just wipe out half of the map, Yeah. And the question was, where the fuck was everything? And the answer was simple. They wanted to release a new Battlefield game this year because Battlefield right now is trying to follow the same shitty tactics that Call of Duty does. A game every year. And guess who profited from this? Right. Halo Infinite multiplayer, which Halo, I have played so far about 35 hours of that fucking multiplayer.
I will tell you something.
It's awesome.
All these games that came out in the last 2 years, he's a streamer, Limit Maximum. He's like a world first WoW raider. He's like one of the like a great person to follow, to watch his videos and all this. So he gave once a great idea, which was something in the last 2 years. The game that came out are almost all bad, like the AAA games, the supposedly great games.
He is right, because I can't remember any good game.
And here's the thing: he calls them. It's so funny. He calls them the COVID games. Yeah, because COVID was there, so like people had to work from home. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I cannot like give my how game developing from your home is done. But it was obvious that it was really hurting the companies, and the problem is they have a deadline, same as like Cyberpunk, or they had to meet this deadline, and they met it. Guess which game is one of the only games that didn't meet the deadline?
Call of Duty.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy, of course.
Yoshi P.
I remember, they were grinding with that game.
For Shadowbringers, which was like the multiplayer at the time, like the expansion that was coming out. So he came out, he's like, we're delaying 2 months. We're not gonna put the game now. We're delaying not 1 week, not 2 no, 2 months. We're delaying the game. Sorry, community, but I'm delaying the game. Do you want a good product, or do you want to hate us?
Shit product, yeah. The same thing, actually, a good example of listening to your audience from the game industry is Halo. Halo Infinite is coming out 2 week time, I think. And the funny thing is that a year and a half ago, they showed the first gameplay video, which was shit. The graphics were from the past console gen, it was awful. Like, not 30 frames per second for an Xbox Series X and PC.
My laptop is don't talk about FPS. FPS 30 is good.
But still, a lot of lags, glitches, and they got flooded with negative feedback. They're like, are you really gonna release this game this year? Are you kidding us? And what they did, actually listened, and for a year and a half they have been sitting, grinding, trying to fix the game, and now they dropped the multiplayer. All of a sudden, nobody was expecting that. 2 weeks ago they dropped the multiplayer. I've been playing ever since. I mean, 35 hours I've spent there. Great. I mean, like, no lags, no glitches. Occasionally, the connection is as smooth as the skin on my ass,
Thank you for that visualization.
So they actually put an effort and time to fix everything. Again, nobody knows what kind of a game we will get from the single player campaign, which will drop in a few weeks.
But you can see the dedication.
They patched up everything. The graphics looks awesome. The performance is great. Everything is great. I can't complain, like, really, except for the fact that I suck most of the gameplay. But
you're dead most of the game. So
kind of like that. Yeah. So this
comedy
just
podcast.
comedy podcast. Yeah, this just goes to show you how when you listen to constructive criticism and when you can take it, it can actually make you think logically, and you don't start pointing fingers and blaming people for your flaws and saying that, oh no, you didn't understand it, or fuck you. You actually ask yourself, okay, what can I do to fix this?
You know what's you don't even have to listen to it.
You have to play it, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to it. Like if you get any kind of criticism, because we do stand up. I was actually talking with a friend yesterday about this. That in stand up, your feedback is direct.
Exactly, yeah.
You do a joke, they don't laugh. Okay, back to the drawing board. But that's basic. Well, I oversimplified it, but like that's kind of one of the basics of it. So you take any criticism you can get. You need that criticism, whatever it is, minus it, but you don't reject it at the beginning. But it also depends on what you want. Yeah, but you don't reject it at the beginning. You listen to it. You hate the person. I agree 100%. You can't imagine the times when I wanted to flip the whole stage on the audience. I was like, you guys don't understand my genius bullshit.
And the audience is like, yeah, we get your dick is small, so
stop. And like you get it, but on the other hand, you go back, you listen to your, how do you call it, your recording, you watch whatever, and then you go, yeah, maybe they're right or maybe they're wrong. You get what I'm saying?
It's I believe it's one of those reasons why people don't do that, because I don't believe the fact that they are just lazy to push the record button. Forget about the video, even just the audio. I think that a lot of people are just too scared to face the reality that they will hear that they actually not as good as they thought they were.
That's one thing, but I'll tell you something. Yeah, maybe that's like one point of it. Or there's one thing I understand. Maybe we all got this. I hate my own voice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you're like, you're not gonna masturbate to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go, oh my god, look how I pronounced the.
I pronounce it as the. Oh my god.
I don't know English. I need to take grammar back or whatever. And it's I understand like this idea of, oh, I don't like to listen to my own voice. Okay, I forgot to push the record button. Okay, or they have the perception that they're so good, that they don't need and then this goes back to the idea is that this is why I love gong shows. This is why I really like gong
You get immediate feedback. Are you good enough or not?
Yes. It's an immediate feedback. I like remember last year when Mumsy won the competition. I was like the runner-up. I was after him, and it was, for me, it was so good. Because yes, I failed, but remember, like when I started, I told you, I think I'm gonna fail this, and one of the reasons that I failed is that I didn't have, how do you call it, faith in my material. 100%. I didn't have faith in my material.
I remember you didn't even want to take part in that competition last year, so
but like never mind, but I took part in it, And that's like fine, no excuses. Mumsy was great. We had Sergio, who was also like doing well, and I don't say that I did great. No, I did less than great. I didn't do shit, but I had, let's say, 3 or 4 minutes. No, sorry, 2 minutes of silence, and that hurt my set. That hurt my set immensely, and I didn't have faith in my new material that I wrote. So I used old material. And I understand 100%. There were people in the audience who watched my set, who knew it. And I 100%, and I so, how do you call it, commend them for not voting for me. I don't know if they did, but if they didn't, I was like, yes, you should not vote for me. You should vote for the better comedian. That's 100% because I didn't have faith. If I had faith, I would have fucking destroyed. Because the problem is, after I tried that new material, and it destroys,
Yeah.
I was like, now I get what I did wrong.
It's one of those things that are actually pretty interesting. It's good to push yourself against the wall, or trying to be better, to criticize yourself. You start with something little, and then it's like I have a 5-minute set. A minute of that set was not good. This is a bad performance. Yeah, it's kind of this is what gets to you. Yeah. And out comes the question, from this: how difficult does it become when you push yourself to so much limit?
Well, I totally agree with you.
Because you basically can destroy yourself whenever people and it's like not even the audience's perception. Let's say you do 10 minutes, 8 of them are good, 2 not so good. You have like silence there, which is the most horrible thing a comedian can face. But then people come to you, the audience members, and they're like, "Man, that was great. But you still in your head, you're like, those fucking 2 minutes. That was bad. But people think it's great. People thought it was great. So how does that push on you? Yeah.
So I'll tell you something. It's so great about stand-up is, again, the community of stand-up comedians. So like when you have a great set or like a bad set, or like as you said, like an 8-minute great set, then 2-minute not so good set. It's when the audience comes to you, for example, and you're beating yourself. Because I used to be that guy. I used to beat myself. No, I wasn't good. And then there's comedian Ashot Danilian. Shout out to Ashot. I fucking hope whatever
back in Armenia.
I hope whatever you're doing, you're being awesome at it.
Hopefully he will come back to Russia one day.
He came to me and he was like, "Man, when someone tells you you did great, shut the fuck up. Say thank you and just shut the fuck up." And that was such a great advice, because take the fucking compliment. Just take with it and then go back home and be angry at yourself. That's a fine thing. Also, being too hard on yourself, it's great. Yeah, it's not that it's super great. It's good. Be hard on yourself, but not too hard. Don't obsess over it. What happens when you obsess over it? Now I'm dealing this actually with one comedian who's I don't want to say names, who gets on stage and he destroys. But then but before getting on stage, he's nervous as fuck. But he destroys. Like it's in the Russian scene. Like he kills, man. Like you can't imagine how good he is. I'm serious. You cannot imagine. Like I sit there you remember once when we were talking, it was like, I love when I go to a stand-up show and I see something, I was like, I never knew you could do that.
Yeah.
He's such a comedian, You watch it, like, wow, okay, I never knew you could do that, And, but before, he's so nervous. He's like, oh, I don't know what and I just look at it as like, and then I get after him on stage.
Yeah.
I do my thing. It goes great. Like in front of a Russian audience, thank God my material is good. Yeah. And after I get off stage, he's like, "How the fuck are you relaxed?" Yeah. He's like, looks at me and goes, "How are you this relaxed? No, you should not be this relaxed. You just did like 10 minutes in Russian, and you don't speak Russian. Like you, it's not your native fucking language. Why are you so relaxed?" And I was like, no, I was freaking out in my head. But like, I'm on stage, I will do my thing. I have faith in my material. I trust my material. I trust the audience. And I'm after you, and you're fucking amazing. But he's like because Russian comedians, when I go to the Russian scene, you see everybody on their phone, talking to their friends, like, yeah, it's working. And I'm the only one like banging my head on the table. I was like, please, let's start. I want to finish this and go run to another mic. Or like sometimes I sleep. I literally, I think it was on Tuesday, I went to 2 mics and then like went to the English mic. One of them, I was on the table going, sorry for that sound. And I was like almost sleeping. I was like, yeah, but you cannot tell anybody chillax or like just perform, and then one day it will just go away from you.
Sometimes it just never goes away. I've been doing English stand-up for 6 years now, and every single time before every single show I'm nervous. It doesn't matter whether it's an open mic or a special show, doesn't matter how many people there are, 5 or 50, I'm nervous all the time. But all this goes away once I get on stage and I open my mouth.
And you know
That's
what's
it.
so much fun for me? I like this nervousness when I see it in, for example, you. I like it because I know this guy is firing. He's gonna fire on all cylinders.
Like you care, you care about what you're about to do.
Yeah. But I don't. I literally don't. It's like I'm gonna get on stage. I'm gonna get off a few things off my chest. I would love for you guys to laugh. And if you don't laugh, I'm gonna shit myself. It's fine. I have some change in my bag, which I forgot on the bus, so it's fine, guys.
I do this, I keep noticing this about myself, that I have two basically conditions before I go on stage. Yeah, it's either I'm nervous as hell, and that is probably a good show that day, or I'm there with the mindset that I'm here to have fun, and then I go on stage and I also have a good show. But the worst shows for me come at the point when I'm indifferent. Where I'm there, I'm like, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I know my stuff. I know what I'm about to do. I know what I'm about to tell to people, but I don't feel it. There is no connection, and it's bad.
Can I ask you, like, is it when you feel that this is like a job? Is that when it comes to you?
This is the reason, actually. Pardon the interruption.
No
but
problem.
still, this is the reason why. I think I told you this so many times before. I have told you this so many times before. Fucking English teacher. I've told you this so many times before that if this ever becomes a job for me, I will not be able to do this. Because for me, whenever here's the thing. Here's my mindset. Let me just tell you about this. Whenever I write a joke, I want to write the best joke in the world. I don't want this to get a mediocre reaction. I don't want to get a fucking reaction. I want a fucking laughter and applause. That's what I want whenever I write a joke. I'm not aiming for something so-so, 50-50 or something like that. Or not even good. I want great. And the best, these kinds of jokes, I can only write when I'm in the mood. When I have some kind of inspiration, if you want. And I can't make myself right, because whenever I try to make myself right, I don't like what I get. And when you become a professional, when this becomes your job, you have to write. You have to write to make yourself right.
I'll tell you something. Of course, I'm still not at that level that to do this. It's how you can have fun with your job. I worked in a few spheres, and I learned if the moment I stop having this joy, in a little bit of joy, from this job or whatever I'm doing, I was like, okay, now I'm losing the drive to do it. And in stand-up, I think one of the ways to keep on, how do you call it? To keep on, if you want to consider it, if it's a job, it's like to go with this mentality. So like you do, let's say 10, 15 minutes, then you start looking for the next 10, 15 minutes. I learned this from Ivan Yavitz. Like Ivan gets on stage. He's like, if you guys don't know him, he's an amazing Russian comedian, and it's so amazing to sit and write with this guy. But it's not so great when he's driving a car. So what happens is that he gets on stage. He does let's say 10 minutes. He records those 10 minutes on video, and that's it. He puts those 10 minutes
aside.
He goes, this is the 10 minutes. I've gotten all I can from this certain topic or whatever. It's on video. If someone asks me, hey, we need a video of you, I was like, here it is. Now give me money. And then he looks forward to the next 10 minutes. The thing with this is I think it takes a toll on a person, because then, as you said, you start craving the next 10 minutes, because if I don't have the next 10 minutes, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, right.
There's this very simple solution to it, and it's really this: other comedians. Literally, that's it. Or other projects, because you never know what will inspire you.
Yeah.
So the idea that stand-up is the only thing you do is wrong. And this is why, your podcast when you fucking started, and you were consistent with it, but hopefully now you'll be back to being consistent with it. Yeah. So you have to search for other means for inspiration.
Yeah.
I don't mean by other means like going have sex with someone, having a kid. Like, yes, a kid. That's one more hour of comedy.
Well, actually,
I bet you there are some comedians who just would love to adopt a kid just for like this.
just for some material. Yeah.
I'm 100% sure of this. So the idea is like, how would you get that inspiration? How would there has to be something that you will do that will give you that inspiration. This is why like you look for different projects. Russian comedians right now, if you notice, in the Russian stand-up scene, not only do they do stand-up, like their work is, he is a, let's say if there's a, how do you call it, the Trudovaya Knishka?
Or labor book or whatever it is.
Labor book, yeah. Crawl rock.
Yeah.
Like let's
whip them.
Yeah, like in Russia, there's a workbook. It's like your social security, let's say, number where like where did you work, what did you do? And everything.
Basically details all of your working experience, official working
like
experience.
These guys would actually like, I think if there's a work, that would be their like they work as a stand-up comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So what they all now do, and this is booming actually, they all have podcasts.
Yeah,
all of them. Each one of them, there's a podcast about anime. There's a podcast where two comedians are discussing random anime. There's another podcast where like comedians are discussing horror movies. Even Bill Burr, he has his Monday morning.
One of the most successful comedy podcasts right now.
I know, but
in
like
the
he has
sphere.
this Monday. He has another podcast which is so much fun. I forgot what it. I think I forgot what it's called, but I know the context of it. So what's its context is, so they're now like in episode 51. So each episode they have. So episode number 1, they talk about every player in the history of the world who had the number 1 on their jersey. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. And number 2 is that I like number 49. They had like. A basketball player, I forgot his name, for the Seattle Supersonics, I forgot his name. 49, the jersey of every player who had 49, they would talk about it. Like, you see how you search, where can I get?
Yeah, where can I get it?
Yeah, so that's a fun. So the moment you see, this might be a job, okay, I should do something to enrich this job.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Goldman, he was saying something which is so much fun. He was saying, don't make stand-up your main thing. Well, if stand-up is your main thing, find a side thing to do.
Yeah, something apart from that.
Something that will give you inspiration.
Yep, exactly. That's why I'm pretty sure that's why some comedians work part-time as Uber drivers. Imagine all of those passengers, so many stories.
Yeah, they're like writing, like, or they're on Tinder just going, please date me, please date me. I need 5 minutes and the kid probably, right? And the passport.
I can steal a kid for you, you can steal a kid from me. Never mind, let's go steal kid together.
My girlfriend, your wife. No, I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke.
These are two different people, guys. Just to let you know.
We think, but she is like, we are sitting there, and then she says this random phrase. I'm like, you can make 1 minute out of this. She was telling me that for example, in Russia, you guys have a saying for you don't like advice, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, and one of the sayings for it is, if don't have sex in the Kremlin, people don't have sex on the Red Square or in the Red Square. I don't know, whatever it is, because you will get too many advice. I was like, 1, you're having sex in the Red Square. 2, you're having sex in the Red Square when it's cold. I was like, that's not the only problem, but she just said that, and I was like, is this true? And she was like, yeah, and she started telling me like how it came about or whatever. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So, just remember what we were talking about. Even the moment you feel like that, okay, next source of inspiration.
Yeah, there is really like there are a lot of things that people usually say, and that like having been a comedian for several years, that maybe made me change my perspective, the way I look at things. And right now I start noticing that a lot of those things that we thought for so long time that they were normal, you're like, why the fuck is this even there? Yeah, like for example, from the recent examples, that I've had, when my mom keeps hinting at me, so when you have a second child, how are you gonna call it? I'm like, syphilis, because I hope I'll never get it. Like that's the thing. Or at the funeral agencies, when they can, they actually can sell you spots for graves. Yes, in Russia they do that, and
everywhere.
Everywhere really they do sell the grave spots. Yeah. So, but anyway, and one of the selling points that they give you right from the start is we can sell you a grave with good location, and I'm like, do you even realize how dumb it sounds? You
want something? I don't know if you guys have it here, but I know that there's a certain. In one place they have it. Do you guys have brokers for graves?
I mean, we have funeral agencies, and they basically, one of their jobs is to do this.
I used to see in front of me brokers for graves.
Brokers for graves, Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm actually interested in that, just like in my bit. Yeah, when I say, like, okay, what if I don't have the money for the grave? Can I rent it? And what if I, if I fail to pay for the month, on the deadline?
So funny, it's just so hilarious, man. There's some things that, exactly. Like you hear, like it's mundane for people because it's an everyday thing, and then you sit there like, huh?
It's the same thing as with people. I meet that a lot with elderly people. When they don't care. They've lived their life. And
wow, man, chillax.
Let me explain.
I don't want you to be a mayor of anywhere, man.
Yeah, let me explain.
Who should we kill to sacrifice to avoid the pandemic? I know.
Yeah.
People who live their lives.
I know. For example, one person.
I thought you were gonna say one pervert.
One pervert. Yeah, them I know too. I guess one of them I'm talking to right now. So I know one guy. His mom. She visits him and his wife all the time. And every single time that she visits, for example, there is like clothes after being washed, it's hanging like on the dryer, and she comes there and she starts like redoing that, rehanging these clothes. And in her words, it's like, oh, you didn't hang it properly. Yeah. And his wife gets upset a lot because she's like, does she try to humiliate me here that I can do anything? And he talked to his mom about this. And she was like, well, you know me. That's how I am. And I'm like, this phrase doesn't justify you being a cunt. You know that, yeah? Like, you can't just justify... it's like, it's like saying, yes, I'm a cunt. What can I do about it? Just bear with me. I'm a cunt.
That you like this. Oh, I'm an idiot. No, not I'm an idiot. I'm a dipshit. I will stab you in the back, but I'm a good guy.
And for me, it becomes even weirder when people, when you notice that one guy is a dipshit, and he does dipshit things, and then you're like, he has just done this and that, he's just taking his pants off and took a literal shit in the center of the room, are we gonna do anything about that?
I didn't mean to do it on stage, okay?
and everybody is like, well, it's him, at what point, I just wonder, at what point of our lives have we decided that we can justify and accept people being dipshits just because they are dipshits, what's...
well, I think it's, some people call it maybe family, some other people would call it, how do you call it? Sorry guys for listening to this, my flatmate is getting stuff out from the refrigerator. Because I don't live alone.
That's white noise. Don't listen to him. That's white noise.
So, they have to put up with it, And there was one comedian who was like, it's so funny. He said something so good. It's like, if a car pulls up and your asshole clenches, leave that person.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and I was like, that was my father. I can't do that.
So he left you.
Basically. So I came to Russia, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. So this is the thing that that thing that I've started noticing, you know, for the past several years, doing comedy in particular. That why the fuck is this happening? You know, don't you notice that? Because here is the thing: if something becomes a mundane part of your life, that doesn't mean that this is normal.
But then again, also it's kind of like the norm, you know?
It's the norm that the society tells you that it's the norm. Yeah, the majority. Yeah, like if the majority of people think that killing others is good, then automatically it's good. Not a big deal.
Well,
you know,
and that's like I think how maybe we could say how life works, and it is like right now we have the fad of the atheist. Like, oh man, just piss off, you know. Or like the fad of each time you get a trend of something, and I'm sure if it's Illuminati, they're trying to like avert our looks from them, trying to put some, you know, how do you call it? Tracking devices in our blood.
Bill Gates is personally installing that chip into your ass, you know, like
I would love for Bill Gates to install anything in my ass, you know, but at least then my ass is valuable, you know. Oh, I have Bill Gates thing in my ass.
Exactly, yeah. Which, by the way, I can now very logically and coherently tie into the next topic for discussion.
Thank God you said that. I was like, which logically Bill Gates have put something in my ass. I was like,
not that, but the things that people take as a norm, you know, because at some point, people not only they take it as a norm, they start proclaiming it as a norm. Okay. They start telling it to you, you know, that having 2 kids is great, which is not. Fuck off, you know. Like George Carlin once said in one of his specials that just replace yourself with a human being. That's it. I go even better than that. My wife and I, we have replaced ourselves with our daughter. That's it. No more kids. Fuck that.
I remember that bit.
Yeah, so fuck that. Yeah. And they start telling you that this is a norm, you know, like it's a norm to have 2 children, like not less, not fewer than that, you know. It's a norm, I don't know, to be a dipshit, you know. It's
the gay, now it's the gay, the transgender thing now.
Yeah, it's a norm to hate a person like with passion when a person, for example, I don't know, called you a cunt, or something like that. And then when these people get into stand-up and they go on stage, instead of material, they start pushing their agendas. You know where I'm leading with that, yeah? Man. And we have seen it so many times before. So let's just define it, yeah? For you. Where is the line? Where do you see the line from all of the people that you have seen on stage and yourself as well? Yeah. Where is the line between pushing an agenda and telling a joke? And how do people get lost in that when they get on stage?
That's actually a very good question. I never even thought of it. So let's say, there's, so if they get on stage, they're trying to push an agenda. First of all, you have to define for them where they are, what did they get on stage like to do? So you get performers who got on stage to just talk like without any jokes. There's one very nice solution to that, which is a very simple timer. You know, like you have 3 minutes, you don't make people laugh, you fuck off the stage. Literally.
Gonna be a good wake-up call.
And I told you, I've been to mics in Russian, which you didn't have 3 minutes, you had 1 minute.
Gong shows, yeah.
Oh, man. And not only that, you had 1 minute, and if you didn't do a joke in 15 to 20 seconds, you would get gonged after that 1 minute.
You're fucked, yeah, you're fucked, basically.
It was so like, it was a machine gun of jokes. It's very good, like, to push a person, yeah? Sometimes it's not good because, you know, like, sometimes you need to do something with it. Like, but I think for new comedians, it's kind of harsh. Because as a new performer, yeah, it's very hard to from the beginning to make a 10-second joke.
It's very hard to even write a joke when you begin, you know?
You know, you want to do, like, it's the idea is that they have to take time. Now, with this, what I understood with these people, how did I understand they're trying to push something? Like sometimes there's one performer who I remember everybody dislikes. Everybody dislikes, you know? Well, almost everybody. But I really like, and what this performer says, it's actually very offensive, yeah? But I actually like it. I actually like it, what he says, you know? Because it's a new angle on everything. It's a new style. It's a new whatever, yeah? And I'd like to see this. But then when he repeats when he repeats the same thing over and over, and there's no addition, there's no, how do you say?
No expansion, no different angles.
Editing, no nothing. Then, you get on stage to bullshit. And one of those things, how I know, is the moment they get on stage and I don't see them record, I was like, oh, no, you're not here for stand-up. You're here just to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, I know this is like too much, but yeah, this is instantly for me. You came here to put something on in your Instagram, which incidentally, that was me when I first started. Yeah. I didn't have Instagram. Thank God. But I had like, on Facebook, I want to show that I did stand-up, you know? And after a while, I saw Nikolai Antonov, Abed, Vasya, who didn't speak English well at the time. He would get on stage and he would click the record button. I was like, but you're English, shit. You know, why are you recording? And I was like, wait, yeah, you have to record if I want to do this. Like, and at one point I clicked in my head, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna be like super famous, but I'll try to make this into at least a bit of my living through this, you know? But I understood the moment they get on stage and there's no, of course, the audience don't notice this, you know? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like for us, for example, we get on stage, like right before they call our names, we press the record button, we get on stage, we just put the phone next
on the chair. Some people do that near the edge of the stage.
Yeah, so that when the laughter happens, it's
accumulates.
Accumulates, and when someone asks you, send them this recording, like yes, because they only hear the beginning and the end. By the way.
Yeah.
True. So when they don't click that, I was like, oh man, like what the fuck? Come on. Like at least like show that you give a shit.
And that is one of the ways to kind of figure out if the person is there to actually tell jokes or to just bullshit and put some kind of narrative.
Yes. Yeah. Well, some people do that because they want to discover something about themselves. Like they record or they hats off, yeah? Hats off to anybody, again, anybody who gets on stage, even though you record, you don't record. Hats off to you. But there's one point where you go, can you fuck off the stage? Kirill needs more minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, no, I'd rather give those 5 minutes to Kirill to do like 10 minutes than give you those 5 minutes. Because it's clear you're not working on yourself. Why would I give you those 5 minutes? You get what I'm saying? When I used to do Spanish, this is so funny. Spanish, I don't speak Spanish. I used to make Daria Polkina she
would translate everything for you, yeah.
Everything. She says, just man, I put her in the fucking ringer. I was like, how do you translate this? How do you say it? You know, and after, how do you say it? Is this the fastest way to get to the point? You know, is there a shorter way?
Translate it and make it shorter for me.
Yeah. I was such a bitch, man. Oh my god, such a dickhead. I need to buy her a hamburger or something. And one other thing, it's not only that. Like, if I see her go, I was like, this joke could be better. Like, this phrase could be better. You know, it was just but like I did that. Then I got on stage. And I would record myself. I would go back. I would listen to it. I was like, oh, I didn't like how I pronounce. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. Then I started messing with it. So I started getting someone as a translator, you know, and people don't know this. I used to go back home, actually listen, and actually try to say what they were saying. Fail miserably because I'm such a dick. Yeah, but you know what my problem is when I was like making someone my translator? I was messing with them.
Yeah, you were not messing like with your material with the crowd. You were messing with one particular person.
With the person. Oh, like it wasn't like I wasn't like insulting them or anything. Like I would say, for example, when I got into the shop, and they would say, "Siko eso peso alla ishi ayya oh," and I was like, "What the fuck? I just said like 3 words. Where did you get these 7 words from?" You know, and people would laugh at this, or like I would say 1 word, and then they would say, or like I would say like a phrase, and they just say it in 1 word. And I like trained to that. I tried. It's so hard, man. You cannot imagine.
No, that's an interesting approach.
Yeah, it's such a dick approach to be honest. But I used to listen to it, see how it works. You know, maybe I can like replicate it, do something with it. Sadly now, I heard the Spanish, because I had another idea to do the Spanish, was to write it on stage with the audience. So I'll be there. They will be, all of them, my translator, and I will write it in front of them. And then the following week, I would come back and do a full set,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, in Spanish, in front of them. That was like one of the ideas. But the idea is that why I'm saying all of this is that because when I went there, I would record. I was like, I want to get better. And the moment you see someone recording, you're like, yeah, I can see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get better at life. You want to get better at stand-up. Hats off. You know?
Sometimes it becomes even blatantly obvious that the person is there just to ramble or to push something, you know, to push some narrative. Because I remember I saw one performer that they got on stage and they were like, "Fuck Russia," you know, like 3 or 4 times for no reason. I'm like, okay, we get it. You don't like this country. So first of all, get off the stage. Second of all, get the fuck out from this country. You know, what's your problem here? Why do we need to listen to this? You know, it's not funny. It's not tied to a joke. It's nothing.
Yeah. But what I would agree with you, and a little bit. So if it was their first performance.
No, not the first one.
Yeah, that's the idea. If they did it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, I swear, you just want to look at them and say, can you get off? Like, I really need to give this spot to better performers.
Sometimes they try to imitate someone. I saw in particular one female performer.
Yeah.
And she was trying to basically be a mix of Amy Schumer and Ilse Schlesinger. But in reality, what happened there, is that she constantly kept repeating "fuck men," "I hate men," "men are animals." You know, okay, but it's not tied to a joke.
Yeah, but then again, if it's a new performer, they still have no idea how get the ropes. They have no how to make a joke, how to do everything. I know the female performer you're talking about, and I'll tell you something about her. Wait a little bit on them, listen to them. The one thing I did not like again was I would see new performers, not one of them records themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Not
Nobody
them records themselves. I was like, then what, man?
What's the reason for that? I'll tell you even more. I host an open mic, and once about several months ago, and you were there when I did that, I scolded one of the performers. For one reason, this person, they had been coming to an open mic and applying to an open mic like every week. We would give the spot, you know, because that person was the fastest, you know. And then they would get on stage.
They were waiting.
Sitting like. That's how Russian comedians, you know, they have although these guys have the bots, you know, who put those pluses. So, I kept noticing that that performer comes unprepared. 3 shows in a row. And then I just couldn't take it anymore. Not because I'm a cunt, although I'm a little bit of a cunt. But then just in my head, it's like, I know at least 2 people who deserve it more and who actually work for this spot. And they would have gone there prepared and delivered probably a good set. And after that, I just exploded. You know, I was like, don't come here unless you are prepared. I don't need this bullshit, because there are people who are giving, who are trying, who are investing their time, effort into that, and you are taking that away from them. I don't give a fuck about the rules. I'm not going to let you on stage if you come unprepared the next time. You know what the saddest thing for me, that And I mean, I explained, look, no personal, I mean, it was a little bit personal, but it was like, dude, this is just because I'm talking from my own experience. It is very hard to get on stage, you know. It is very hard. Some people are ready to kill for time, you know, and this is what you're doing to them.
Right now, you know what I'm doing? I text Russian comedians like, can I get your mic? Can I get your mic? Can I get your mic? Can I get it?
But I mean, this is what you need to do if you want to get time on stage.
I just beg everybody, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, it's difficult to get on stage with English open mic, you know, English shows. It's like 13,000 times more difficult to get the spot at the Russian show.
No, man, I would guarantee you, sorry to blow the bubble. Not at all. Not at all. Do you know, so here's a different, an English open mic we have here. We don't have many, yeah? But the ones we have, if any of the hosts who are listening to this, I respect all of you, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say this, yeah, but there's a big difference. One, sorry to say this, anybody can perform at an English mic. This is so apparent.
Yeah, this is true.
Is what you just said.
This is true. Yeah.
In a Russian open mic, in an English open mic, anybody can get it. They would come. This happened last Saturday. They were like, there's a strict time, and someone came really late, and they just put him on stage. This pisses me off because I was the last one. And you know me, I don't like to do 5 minutes. I do minimum 10, like 15 minutes. Like, fuck this shit. I'm not a 5 minute guy.
Funny it is, yeah, that at the beginning you barely scratch 5 minutes, and in a couple of years you're like, fuck, how do I put this all into 5 minutes?
Actually, it was about so first year, yes. Second year, third year, I was like, no, I don't want to do.
That's why, by the way, the competition that we have right now, this Still the Show Champion of Comedy thing. This is one of the reasons why I love this, because in the first 2 rounds they give you only 5 minutes, and I went there and I was like, fuck, this is gonna be difficult because I haven't had a 5-minute set for a very long time.
Right? Because you stop getting used to it. Like, yeah, I can destroy in 5 minutes. Like, I have my 5. I can do 3 minutes and leave the thing, and people will still talk about my set for like an hour. But I can do the 5 minutes. But I don't want to do 5 minutes. I don't think at the my stage of comedy, I'm not a 5-minute person. I'm not an open micer. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
But then we go to the thing in Russian. In Russian, you have to bring people. Yes, you have to bring people. These people have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to sit there till the end of the show.
The end of the show. Not all of them, but yes, they have. In some of them, you have to sit till the end of the show. Some of them, they say, and if you're bringing people, you put them in the back. If you put them in the front, they will stay for the fucking full duration, or you will perform at the end.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So you cannot perform at the beginning.
Much stricter.
Much more stricter. And there's more. There's much more. They screen the comedians. This is something they look at the comedians who they have, and then they go, okay, you. Rest, we don't know you. And this is an open mic. Rest, we don't know you. You have a headliner. Headliner is always like someone everybody knows. Yeah, a name, you know, who has like more minutes, or like maybe a mid-act, and so on. So it's much in English. It's different. I noticed this so many times. Like we noticed so many times. You go there, anybody, sorry to say this, anybody can perform, which is like, it's fine, yeah, because it's still called an open mic, but at the same time then you cannot complain about quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you are telling that anybody can perform.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of those things that pisses me off, because I never want to have a bad show.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's, you know what it is? It's a great thing to look forward to. Yeah, I don't want to have a bad show. Fuck this shit.
For me, the logic is very simple. You have let's just say you are some kind of an organization. Yeah, if you organize these events, you know, if you have a roster of comedians, so to speak.
Yeah.
And open mic. Here's the logic. Unfortunately, that we have seen that nobody cares that it's an open mic. You know, anybody can perform there. But then again, you're losing on gaining new audience members, because open mic is still a show.
Yeah.
it's still advertised as a comedy show. Do you seriously believe that people who come to an open mic, one of the first ideas that they have in their heads is, oh, okay, I know that it's an open mic, jokes will be tested, I'm prepared that some of them will fail. No, they come there to have fun.
Yeah.
And if this is their first time at your show, they will not think about that this is an open mic. If the show is shit, they will automatically assume, probably other shows are shit as well.
Yeah.
Why should I come here, let alone pay for this,
Yeah,
And this is why I care a lot about the quality of an open mic, especially when I'm hosting it.
Yeah, but then again, you have to like do something with it, or whatever. Like it depends on your show, but saying that English is to get on English show is harder. Nah, it's no way harder.
No. I didn't mean that it's very hard. I mean that I didn't say that it's harder than to a Russian open mic. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to get to an English show.
It can, but here's the thing. How many times I'll be asking you for the past 2 years? How many times have you went there and like, why are these 6 on stage? How many times I was like, why are these 6? No, seriously. Why
Every week.
Yeah, for the past like so many years, like, why are these here? Yeah, even it's not that like literally they don't give anything.
No, yeah, I mean, in English, unfortunately, there is practically there is no quality control.
There is no quality.
Even when you go to quote unquote Friday shows, for example, which are supposed to be primetime shows, and sometimes they advertise them as flagship shows. We have comedians with the polished material who will make you laugh. They take money for that. And then you go there and there are so many people who just don't deserve to be there, nor should they be there.
And one more thing, I'm actually kind of guilty of this, but anyways, so you have a new performer. Now again, we go back to the idea. You look at the performer like, oh, they're trying to push. They are trying to say something. Yeah, not to say push agendas. It's just trying to open their mouth. Yeah. Oh, I can get on stage and talk.
I can get on stage once and then put it on my Instagram profile that I am a comedian.
Oh,
Woohoo!
How many times have you seen this? Someone just changed. I'm a comedian. Like
blacklist.
And you just want to tell them. So how many times you wanted to write them? You are a comedian, as I am a cucumber. Plus, but here's the difference between us. Me as a cucumber, I don't steal jokes.
Like, maybe one day I'll start doing that. I don't know.
I swear to God, man. Like, but never mind this. Like about them, yeah, I get it. It's something to how do you call it? To scratch an itch, yeah.
Yeah. The point is that the point that I was trying to make, is that in Russian you will never have something like that. And one other thing that I really like about Russian open mics is that it is so difficult to get there. If you don't really want it, you will not even try.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This is a good sorting out machine.
Here's a fist bump. That's exactly. If you don't really want to get to do, you won't get the chance. And new performers get less minutes.
Yeah. I know. I noticed that. Yeah.
If you get more, if you're doing well for like a few weeks, and by a few weeks I mean like maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe less. Like depends on how hard your material, how hitting hard, and word spreads.
Yeah.
I got so lucky.
Yeah.
What's her name? Masha
Sherbakova.
I got once so lucky. I actually performed with her 3 years ago. She was I really hoped, because I performed with her 3 years more when Ashot was here.
Mm-hmm.
When was that? 3-4 years ago?
Oh my God, yeah, I think it was about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, I performed with her, and I was running from one mic to another, and thank God I did good, and I left. I was like, thank you so much for putting me on the mic. Yeah, and I think it was thanks to Denis Shevchuk. He was the one who put me. I'm not sure, but it was someone. Yeah, maybe it was Dennis. Shout out to him too, and shout out to her. She put me on the mic. Thank you so much, and I left. And then a friend of my Russian comedian comes to me. He's like, "What the fuck did you do at the mic?" I was like, "I didn't because I when what the fuck did you do? That means I did something bad, 100%." For me, in my head, I was like, "Oh my god, I really insulted someone I shouldn't have, and I didn't mean to." And he goes, "This." She was writing. He's like, "This guy, did you know him? What the fuck? This guy is great." Da, 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 da. And they had a chat like between the all of us. And I was like, "Oh, okay, whew, thank God."
I remember that, and I still fucking slap my face, my face, yeah, slap myself on the face every time that I remember how I fucked up like several good opportunities, because that time when I was doing Russian mics more or less frequently, at least like once, twice a week, which is nothing for Russian comedians, I started performing at one place. The girl who was one of the organizers of that event, she gave me a 15-minute spot at a. That was a different. So one of their team, organized a kind of a stand-up show in the middle of a rock cover band show. Nobody cared about that, but I was like, "Holy fuck, 15 minutes! That's only my third performance in Russian. Sure, I'll do that for free. I'll suck someone's dick while I'm at it." And then couple of weeks later, I got an invite from Ruslan Mukhtarov to do a money mic at the store, and I wasn't in town that weekend, and I was like, fuck. And then I just stopped performing in Russian altogether. And I can say that I kind of like want to kill myself for that. At least I have stayed active with English comedy, and that got me like hosting spot, and I've been involving there. But I definitely want to get into Russian.
You see what they do? A new performer, you have a smaller amount of time. You do well. We'll see what happens.
That's even that, because here's the thing. I've noticed that, because when I did Russian open mics, there was an open mic where they openly told me, if you're not good, like 3 minutes off stage. If you're good, we'll give you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was killing it, and they cut my time by a minute. They gave me 4 minutes because there was someone else with a name value, and they wanted to give him more time. And so this happens. I can vouch for that. This happens all the time.
And I'm telling you, there are times when you will get, sorry to say this, you will get not stepped on, passed over. But and you just proved it, and I just proved it. When they see you're good, you will get your chance. There's no they will even I'm telling you, they even tell to like each other. And then like I remember when I was like actively much more performing in Russian, I got this how do you call it? So I performed. I was performing like for 2 months, and then for a whole week, every day I would get random spots, 10, 15, 10, 15, 10, 15, and I didn't even know the guys. They would on Vkontakte, they would text me, "Hey man, I heard about you. Would you like a 10-minute spot?" I was like, "I only have like 5 minutes. What the fuck?" I was like, "Okay, but I will take it."
Of course.
I just like instantly they listen and they go, "Oh yeah, man, I'm taking you."
And by the way, this is also what teaches you to record yourself, record your set.
Definitely.
If you want to get opportunities in Russian stand-up scene in Moscow, on Russian stand-up scene in Moscow, there is a formula to that, I believe, you try and you see where you can get a spot at an open mic, like a 5 minute, prepare your 5 minutes, make sure they're good, and then go there and record yourself. One of those times you might be like lucky and skillful enough to get a 5-minute killer beat, and you have it on record, and now you can start sending this recording to the organizers of other open mics, telling them, "Guys, here is like, can I perform? Here is the video of me performing," and they care because they actually appreciate hard work.
Oh man, yeah, definitely. Like this is something I so noticed so hard. And if you beg, well enough.
No, I mean, yeah, definitely.
But that's like so much. Like the idea is that you will see something, you will feel like you are doing something. on the stand-up scene, on the English stand-up scene, yeah, it's great. But all we have, I'm sorry to say that, all we have is literally open mics.
Yep. We very rarely get any kind of shows, and the only reason why, for example, I've been getting chances to go on to other towns, in Russia for mini tours is because I have been performing with particular guys. They know who I am, they know what I'm capable of, and they give me this opportunity.
But I think you earned it. No, like you can't put it down there. Like even whatever, like the things that, let's say, behind the scenes happen. Nah, man, like you deserve it, and like sometimes hard work is appreciated. But the idea is, how much hard work do I have to fucking do
to get noticed?
To get noticed.
Yeah.
In English, let's never mind this. But we're talking about, so in English, what do we have? Tuesday, 5 minutes. Friday, 5 to 10 minutes. Saturday, 5 minutes. Saturday, let's say 2 spots, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. What?
That's nothing. Yeah, I agree. That's like,
where's the special about it?
Yeah.
What's the special show about it? Oh fuck.
And the problem is also goes both ways, because we have talked about it like right now that you are not a 5-minute comedian anymore. Yeah, I can say the same thing about myself. And but it goes both ways. When you get only 5 minutes everywhere, the question is, can you build a coherent 10 to 15, maybe even 20-minute set?
I remember that when I looked at you, I was like, do you have fucking 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I remember this. I was like, okay. No, I told you, stop doing 5 minutes. I remember this. I was like, stop fucking doing 5 minutes. You have to do more. I remember. And you did you did the store a few times, which like 15 to 20 minutes each. And you headlined one show in the store, if I'm not forgotten.
You were hosting that show, yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
And then you had with Nikolai Anton of your 25.
That was the first time. Like this year, no shit. Yeah, this year was the first time that I got a chance to do over 20 minutes. The first one was on the Punchline Festival, where Nikolai and me, we did like an hour show, like 25 minutes each. And the second time was when we went on tour, and just because one of the comedians got sick, it was supposed to be 3 of us, and the 2 of us went, we did 30 and 35 minutes. So that was the first time for 6 years I got a chance to do half an hour.
Yeah, like one of the things I like about actually Saturday shows, like were hosted by Adrian Nero, which I like, which is like when I go to him, I was like, it's an Adrian. He's like, what? I'm not going to do 5. I'm going to do like 40.
And he goes, sure.
I swear to God, he goes, I was like, okay, flash me when you want me to fuck off. And he always, you know what? He always, like, if we're not pressed on time, if he is not pressed on time, he always flashes me like at the 15th minute, or sometimes he's like, no, fuck it, just do whatever the fuck you're doing, which is like, hats off to him, man. To this, I just go to, I was like, no, I can't do fucking 5. No, there's no way. I'll do old material and new material and just mix everything together and see how that weaves in together, and that's why I always tell him, like, put me either at the beginning or at the end. I'll do this. And he never, because it's a fun thing, man. It's a really fun thing to see. Can I hold them for this long?
Exactly, yeah. Because when you constantly do only 5s, that's when you don't know. Like, can I do 10? Can I do 15? And also, this is one thing that I'm obsessed with. This, I don't. If I do 10 or 15, I can't jump from one topic in a joke to another. If I do 10, or even if I do 5, my set will be coherent and it will be tied into one story, or 2 or 3 different long stories, but the interchange will be not the interchange, the progression will be logical. I will logically come from one story to the next, go from one story to the next story and the next story. So this is it. And if you constantly do 5s, you don't know, can you do that? Can you? Okay, let's say you do 5 minutes all the time, and let's say you do have 20 minutes, of killer material. Is it coherent? Can you structure it to hold the attention of the audience? Because let me tell you something. And I've been there before. and you will, I think, will also admit that when you jump from one topic to the other, at some point, for the audience, it starts sounding weird, and they're like, "Wait a minute, but you've been here, now you're here. How does that work?" It doesn't. It's not that they don't listen to you. It's that a minute they will spend trying to figure out why have you just made this transition.
You know what's so funny? That is exactly the Russian scene.
Yeah.
That is exactly the Russian scene. I've always watched Russian comedians go and like they do well, but they have a minute and a half about metro. They have a minute and a half about babushkas. They have a minute and a half about cups. Let's say I don't know. And you like, wait, well, stop. Like the idea is that it depends on the length. Yeah, that's for me. So if the length of what you're doing is, let's say, 10-minute topic about family, that's good. You end it on a big laugh or a callback, whatever. You end it, they laugh, yeah, amazeballs. Then you're like, okay, we finished this. Now let's start a new topic. But when you jump from one topic to another in less than in less than 5 minutes, it sounds so weird, right?
This is one, and this can be damaging to some of them, to some comedians, because we both know. I'm not gonna name the guy because I don't think that it's gonna be correct in this context. Yeah, but we all know one of the fucking most brilliant comedians that we have seen in Russian. And I remember I asked you once. I was like, he's been around for so long. He's so creative, funny, and I was like, why hasn't he had a special yet? 1 hour. And you told me this exact thing. He cannot. I think that he even said it to you yourself. That he cannot tie it up to a logical, picture. To one singular picture, so to speak.
I saw him do 40 minutes, 40 to 45. Like he does regular 1 hour long shows. He does that regularly. And what he does is that he has a topic, 4 to 5 minutes or maybe 3 to 5 minutes, finishes, then switches to the next topic. So that's mainly why he it's fine to work on the road. It doesn't look good on the
screen
for him. Again, because you see many comedians, you see one-liner comedians jumping from one topic to the other.
No, of course,
just jumping from.
I mean, just to go and watch Anthony Jeselnik.
But the idea is that it's kind of one-liners. Yeah, you're like, here's a joke, here's another joke, here's another joke. But when you spend 1 minute and a half or 3 minutes doing this story, then you instantly jump to another story, which might not be tied to the not even tied, at least
completely different. They are completely different. You mean now I'm talking about potatoes, and the next thing I talk about lizards. What?
Exactly, and it's kind of sometimes sound weird. And that's we go back to the idea is this person talking, getting on stage for nothing, or are they talking on stage for a joke? Are they testing? Are they doing something? You look at that, and that's when you come to the you're not being serious. Get off the stage. We need to give this time for someone else. Now, here it goes back to the organizers. If we're talking about the Russian or English scene, if we're talking about the English scene, sadly, the English scene, this is in my pure opinion, is not about quality. It's about, I have no idea. It's not even about money. I'm sorry. There's it's not even about money. There's someone tells me this brings so much money. I was like, does this bring money? But again, if you don't invest in your comedians.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that because I'm ready to tell it to any person in their face. But I actually agree with you because let's just say from what I see, and I'm saying that not because you are my friend, but because
we're friends. Sorry, I'll shoot myself later.
Is fucking you in the ass considered being friendship? I guess it is. Man, family.
I accepted you when you put your finger in my ear, man.
Okay, nice. Ooh, that was a wet one. So.
Shoot me, please.
Okay, never mind. After this. So I agree with you because I have seen. Okay, let me tell you what I've seen. Yeah, this is gonna be rant or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I see in what the problem is in English comedy. We've had up to this moment only
in Russia. This
in
is English
Russia, yeah, in
comedy
Russia, yeah.
From our
Our
Kirill,
perspective, yeah.
From our perspective, basically.
This is what I have seen and experienced and realized about English comedy in Russia. Number one, there is only one quote-unquote organization that has tried to make it more or less serious, yeah, to bring constant shows, give opportunities to people, and so on and so forth. But then come the problems, because there are a lot of subjective things tied to it. We have seen that when the organizers tell you one thing and do a completely different thing. When you have flagship shows on Fridays, Saturdays, and you're basically telling your audience members it's paid show, you need to pay for this. Doesn't matter how much, but still you need to pay. And half of the performers who you have that night, yeah, they have no business doing there on a flagship show. I'm not saying that they have no business being in comedy. No, of course, because you grow, within the time you grow, but it's too early for them to be there. And as a result, the quality of the show suffers because, let's be honest, I'll be honest from what I have seen. The past 4 months, there is a consistent thing about these flagship Friday shows. Half of them are good, half of them are bad. I'm sorry, but when you have 6 performers and half of them don't cause any laughter whatsoever, this is a bad show. 50% if 50% of the show fails, it is a bad show, in my book at least. That's the thing. Secondly, the spots are being given to friends, to family members, to your better halves. That's what I have seen as well. I'm going to openly talk about that. I don't care what kind of problems it will cause. Next, inconsistency about what you want to do. It changes from one thing today to the next thing tomorrow to a third thing.
What Kirill is talking about is that the locations change frequently.
Yeah, the locations change frequently. There is no announcement about moving to a different location. There is one particular direction that they tell you they are going in, and then they completely switch it and go to a different direction.
Yeah.
Telling them, we're gonna organize workshops and everything, and what those workshops have been organized the same way with the same consistency that I have been uploading my podcast episodes.
That's the best metaphor I heard.
He is laughing because he knows it's true.
So the other thing. So here's one thing in the English stand-up scene that I noticed. Nobody wants to improvise.
Yeah, this is the truth because Continue.
Just a quick thing, So let's say about the friends, family, or other halves, whatever, getting spots. So what happens is that you get a spot, yeah. You see this person not ready, but you're giving them the spot anyways. So you see who's ready, yeah? And so let's say those 2 people are not ready yet. Why not give the others more time? It's that simple. It's literally that simple. Yeah. They're not. Let's say. We only had 6 people sign up. Yeah. But 3. Let's say 3 of them, are not going to do a good job. You know that, and I'm not saying don't give them, but this is not their time.
Yeah, exactly.
Their time will be there. Yeah, you're giving everybody a chance. That's fucking amazing, But then again, what you're doing is that you're taking time from the people who are actually, how do you call it? Raising the bar on your
shows.
Show.
Yeah.
You're taking more time from them. When these people are ready, yeah, amazing. Give them 5, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Give them the time. But when they prove they are ready, now here's what happens. In the English stand-up scene, we go back. It's so funny. The only thing to be fixed for the English stand-up scene. In my opinion, it's okay. It's not amazeballs, and I'm talking about English performers in Russia. It's not amazeballs, but there's okay and there's like good. Yeah. The only thing that you need to do is just record yourself. It's so funny. That's the first tip I ever wrote. Record yourself. That's all you fucking need to do. You don't even need to fucking like write. Just record yourself. Like, just record yourself. You will get it. You will become better. You know what? Automatically, you'll become better.
Yeah.
You don't even need to listen to it.
I started doing much better when I finally listened to your advice about recording myself.
Definitely, because you hear it. You hear instantly the feedback. You're like, okay, I know exactly now what to do. I know how to remove this word,
I would also give another thing here, this includes, this usually goes within what you've just mentioned, yeah? But the second thing is, don't give comedians false assumptions. And a lot of people are saying, so what? You're telling us that we always need to tell them their shit. No, it's not that.
Yeah.
When a comedian does bad or not a very good job, don't tell them it was a good job. But don't mix them with dirt. Once the comedian gets off stage, you'll be like, and you see that the comedian's disappointed. Yeah, don't tell them, oh man, good job. No, tell them, dude, yeah, that wasn't good, but hey, cheer up. The more you do it, the better you will become. Hey, do you want some help? I can I can sit down with you. We can throw ideas. Don't tell them that they did a good job. I've seen this so many fucking times for 6 years. When you put in the false assumptions, false illusions into a person's head that they are doing great, in reality it's not so good. And when they go outside of their box, so to speak, outside of their money world, so to speak, and they go to a different venue, Jim and Jack's in particular, for example, and they go on stage and they shit themselves for 10 minutes, and it's like shock for them. They're like, but I am great. This is what it leads to. Trust me, it's the same thing everywhere. It's the same thing that George Carlin was talking about when he was talking about kids at schools. There are no losers. There are only last winners. And imagine putting that into your child's head for 10 straight years. Then he comes to an interview, he fails at the interview, and now he commits suicide because he's thought all this time that, hey, I am the greatest. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that.
So yeah, like that's exactly like the false assumptions. This thing, like, yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. For example, Abed got on stage, does the same 5 or 10 minutes for 3 years. Yeah, just tell him, hey man, just do new material. Don't do like I know that. Never mind. Like, don't talk about him like hidden. Oh, he doesn't have new material. I have an hour and a fucking half. I literally have an hour and a fucking half. I know 6 years, an hour and a half. That's shit, but that's what I came up with. That material that I know is good, and a great material is 50 minutes, 100%. And then like there's another about 40 minutes, which I'm working on it, and also it has like some really great parts in it. Which needs like all to be like mixed, like how do you call it?
Put together,
structurized. So instead of this, just go, hey man, you did this. Can you not do it? Like, the idea is that English stand-up comedy. What happened with English stand-up comedy in Russia is that here, hey, we're doing this with comedians, and then you realize, wait, you're not doing this with comedians. You're doing this with yourself. But the thing is like, oh, I give you perception, I give you like this, and then suddenly I show you that I'm not. I'm rejecting you. But you just, it's like having a kid and then having a kid saying, oh, I will do everything for you, and then going, go to the bathroom alone. Do you know how hard it is to go to the bathroom alone at 30? But but you see, that's so fucking hard about it. So I tell you, we will help. We will help. Like, great. Then, okay, where's the help? Where's the appreciate? Where's what's happening?
And it goes even beyond that. You see, like there is one other problem that I have noticed that we haven't actually discussed.
Yeah.
And with the English comedy in Russia, particularly in Moscow, it's the open hostility of English performers towards Russian comedy scene. It's
Is
an
there?
open,
I don't
an
know
open
about this.
hostility
Really?
coming from, let's just say, people who are pretty important for the English comedy scene in Russia. It's
just
like,
one
yeah.
second. I don't know anything about this.
It's basically like, you know, they're saying like, oh, that Russian comedy is not the real comedy, or it's not done properly. Russian English comedy is better, and yada yada yada. There is, and that one more thing. Apart from occasional open mic appearances, there is no contact with Russian comedians. I mean, why? There
Yeah.
are Russian comedians who've been coming to an English open mic. Good. Some of them have name value, like a Vasya Medvedev, like a
Yeah.
Sasha Maloy, like an Ivan Yavets, for
Yeah.
example. Freaking Zhenya Sherbakov. Sherbakov, sorry. Sherbakov. No,
good
Sherbakov
job.
can go fuck himself.
I have no idea who that is. But okay.
Like you are, yeah. Like Zhenya Sherbakov, for example, yeah. And why? I mean, why is there no connection there? They are ready, just, but they don't want to. You haven't even asked.
Yeah.
How do you know? You haven't even asked them.
Well, I don't know if it's hostility or, but I was.
No, trust me. I mean, I've heard from some
know,
people.
you know more than me and all this, but there's one thing that I noticed, which was the Russian comedians who like perform on Tuesdays. I was like, oh, how can I get on a Friday show? How can I? It's like, oh, okay, you need to go here, you go here, and then you do this. Yeah, maybe there could be easier way to contact them, as you said. That would just like remove a whole. How do you call it?
People, a lot of times they don't take into consideration human factor, you know, because when you're like, oh, how can I get there? Go here, then turn here, you know, switch here,
Yeah.
piss here, shit here, right here. People are lazy,
And
okay?
then stop teaching kids that.
Yeah. Become a good parent, yeah. Get your own kid, don't steal.
That's so funny. That was actually what you just said were my instructions when my mother told me like to get out of the house.
I'm not surprised.
When I go to Russia, it's like this here, you shit here, you do this here, and then.
So, you know, sometimes it's just very nice to have a direct contact.
Yeah, it's
You know,
definite.
It's much better to have a direct contact than to explain to people, oh, do this and do this. Especially, you know, for me, it's so like when a comedian with a name value, you know, comes to you and asks you, how can I get to a show? If that was me, I'll be like, shit, I'll prepare everything for you because this person has a name value. It will attract the audience.
What's the name of the comedian, the little person who came like to
Sasha Petrosyan, yeah.
Sasha Petrosyan. I remember when he came to Jim and Jack's because he came with the guys and they wanted to test material and we talked and he was like, "Oh, I was like, why don't you do this? I don't see this." And I remember I looked at it, was like, he's a translator.
And I was drunk enough to say, okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he's a translator.
It was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Adrian actually has a video of it, by the way. He posted
That's
a video
nice.
and it
Oh
was
my
like-
God. That was about a year and a half ago, I think.
I remember. It was like, yeah, like what the like it's so easy. And now the guy like he knows me like just by accident. Even if you contact him, it's like, hey man, remember 100% you'll get a spot easy. That's what's so fun and so funny, so ironically funny. The one thing it's so interesting that people here's one thing which I think it's not good for the English comedy scene. One, some people think if they perform in English, they are better than other performers.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I've seen that.
Yeah, and they get on stage, they start talking things, just as we said,
Rambling.
rambling
yeah.
agenda. Let's say, well, not agenda, but like they just start talking, and you just sit there, like, would you do this in Russian? No. What the fuck are you on stage? Get the fuck out.
Exactly, yeah. The question is, like, they think that they're better than even the Russian comedians. The question is, go perform in Russian.
Yeah. Like,
we'll see how good you really
Show
are.
me what you can do in Russian. You know, or like you think Russian, okay, I'll bring you a person who's still learning English who can do better than what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a perception, oh, I'm doing this, I am better than the Russian comedians. Maybe, like, again, this is what I've noticed, because they get on stage and they talk, and you're like, what the fuck? And then they're like, ha ha ha, I know stuff. Like, fuck off.
One other thing that I've also noticed, I completely agree with you on this one. And there is one other thing, and I think that
by the way, just a quick thing, and Russian comedians, really good Russian comedians, actually have so much respect for people who perform in Russian and perform in English.
Yeah.
I was told by so many comedians, Russian comedians. This is why I want you to fucking go back to Russian, like to start performing back in Russian. They all told me, they were like, we have so much fucking respect for you guys. Imagine, like, you do in Russian, you do English. We have so much respect for someone who can do this in double languages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, fuck, I never knew this, actually. I never knew that they had that much respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's such a sad thing to see it as, now you said it.
So one-sided, yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? You know, like, nah, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's.
Yeah, that's not healthy. Yeah, you have to keep an open mind. Radical approach always is bad. You know, whatever we are talking
you're
about.
You're a goddamn stand-up comedian. Your job is to destroy the world that's in front of you.
Yeah.
To deconstruct it, make everything about it. But like, if you want to go with one thing, go with one thing. But also, don't forget that you have to, look at that thing.
And speaking of one thing, that's what I want. The next point I wanted to give it, and I think that you will back me up on this one.
I hope not.
There is, well, you're an Arab, you like arguing, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the thing. There is, we have one particular organization, Still the Show, and there is an open, I can't say hostility, but kind of, when the mindset.
Yeah.
Don't go to other places. Specifically Jim and Jack's. How many times have you heard people who actually take some...
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I would say that yes to this only where that was 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, but not still.
From particular people, I mean.
From
particular people, yeah.
Even now, I still remember from guys who run Steal the Show who were telling me, we're so happy that Jim and Jack's, for example, exists. Because people have a venue. A new venue.
And it's not only about the venue, it's also about the type of audience that comes to these shows.
But here's where it comes transparent. Yeah. Transcrepancy. Sorry, not transparent. Transcrepancy in it. Like, you say this and then you say that. Now, I think I know where this comes from. Yeah. This comes from the idea that, let's say you're doing sex jokes. You do sex jokes at Jim and Jack's, yeah? People laugh. People love it. They go, yeah. You do sex jokes at Steal the Show venue, you don't get laughs. So how is that justified? Yeah? Oh, you don't, what was it? Fuck. There's a different type of audience there. Yeah, there is a different type of audience. I totally agree. But that's not justifiable. That does not justify, for example, what has happened. And I will tell you something. Those phrases are only said because the person knows they fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you.
You know?
And you're taking so much from the performers themselves. I mean, just simply this. It is very difficult to argue that the audience of Still the Show is much different than the audience in Jim and Jack's, yeah? And you need to be diverse, If you only go to one particular place, to a stand-up club, or to several stand-up clubs, where people know what they're coming for, where people are ready to pay for stand-up, they came here for stand-up, and they will be listening to you without heckling you, without any type of that stuff, What will happen to you when after a couple of years you go to a place like Jim and Jack's, when only 35% of people who are there, and they are all sitting in the front row, they came there for the show. Everyone else just happens to be there, and they don't care.
That,
How awesome. Sorry, I just wanted to finish my thought.
yeah.
One of the best experiences that I've had on stage was in Jim and Jax, when I was able to convince those people who did not care at first, listen to me, to what I'm saying, and to make them laugh.
Yeah. And there's one thing which is not good about this, is that if you put it in other people's heads, as you said, like if you put this idea for new performers, especially new performers, I think we need to piss off, yeah?
No, yeah, we still have 5 minutes, so it's okay.
Right. So I think it's not a good thing to put that thought in people's idea. Put that thought in people's idea. Dobry den. Put that thought in people's heads. You know,
put the dick in my penis. Yeah,
that was such a weird penisception. I don't know. And Dickception would have been funnier. Never mind.
Dickception. That's that's the name of the presidential campaign of Dick Cheney. You know, the next.
I just realized what I said, but it's just so funny. So when you put that thought in a new performer's head, it's I like to give this. I'm gonna give this as an example. When you work as a chef in a restaurant, I worked for 3 years in the restaurant business. So when you work as a chef but not as a chef, thank God, as a stereotypical kalyanchik, and
people would be like, "Why the fuck is there kalyan in my shawarma?"
Man, you cannot imagine. It's so much fun to put their kalyan in their soup. Some ashes by me. Oh man, no wonder 2 places closed. But that was, never mind. So the idea in a restaurant, in the kitchen, you have new chefs, yeah. So you see the new chef, for example, cut onions or cut whatever. And now here's where I come from. As a kalyanchik, as a shisha guy, you literally have a view of everything. You literally see everything right before the rush hour starts.
Mm-hmm.
You see everything. So you can like walk around, mess around, clean, like check what's happening. And then I would see, like, for example, a chef cutting an onion, and a new chef, yeah? And then a more experienced chef looks at him and goes, "Who taught you how to cut this?
Uh-huh.
A potato? What the fuck?" And then he would scold him. He would destroy him, you know. And then he would show her, and the experienced chef, you would see how he would cut the onion. Man, it's like a machine. And the other guy, it's different. So in a salad, you would see some, like, for example, let's say small squares from the experienced chef. From the, let's say, new chef, you would see long pieces. Why? Because the new chef who came was trained by that guy who's not experienced,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, or who's not good, or whatever. That guy put in his head, you know, oh, this is how you do it. So that's
Right.
and it's literally that in a kitchen. I had a friend who worked in Jordan in like 5-star hotels, and he told me, you know what they do to you the moment you start? They make you cut about 1,000 potatoes.
Holy shit.
That's for, and then
Well, that's one way to get used to a particular style of chopping.
yeah, and not only the guy when he cuts, I'm telling you, man, when this guy cooks, when he used to cook, I'm telling you, man, every patron of the restaurant used to say compliments to the chef. When we had a new chef who was supposed to be an experienced one, yeah, the experienced one left. He found a better job, and the one who was supposed to be experienced started working. I'm telling you, for about like, I think 6 months, nobody said how good this. Nobody said the good food was good.
Kudos to the chef, yeah.
Nobody. Maybe once or twice we were like something. Nobody, because the base is wrong. Now, I'm not saying that the English comedians, the experienced ones, they have their base wrong. They have their own way, but don't force your idea onto the new performers. Let them try everything. Let them test. Let them do their work. If you say it to them, that's it. It's put in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, and you have like
It's one of those reasons why, and I've talked to you about this before. One of the reasons why I stopped going to the workshops, because the workshops were hosted by one comedian, who has his own view, let's just say, on comedy, on how everything is supposed to be, on how the joke should be written and structured, and so on and so forth. And at some point, I realized that these workshops, they are not kind of helping them improve their skills. It's like a joke writing workshop where one person writes the jokes for everyone else. And you, I think, have noticed that as well. After a few of these workshops, we see those performers who have been there, to these workshops. We see them go on stage and we're like, that's not them, that's that comedian.
That's
You start hearing the same motives, the same vibes, the same structure.
What Kirill and I are talking about, it's not wrong to, when on a workshop, to use an idea of someone else or to use the punchline of someone else, because that's what a workshop is in a stand-up comedy. The thing that we're talking about is when we would see someone has a different style, do jokes in a totally different style that's not theirs, and you can see it's not theirs, and you're like, wait, but
where is you? It's not you. It's not you.
Then again, for you to find who you are as a comedian, it takes so much years.
No, I mean, even at the beginning, because this is what I actually like about new comedians who appear on the scene. When they come there, they are not comedians, but they have personality. They have their particular way of talking, their particular way of presenting ideas, and that is something that later would transfer into their comedy persona. And I want to see that in them. I don't want them to become generic. I don't want. I don't want to see the same type of comedy I have seen so many times before. I like seeing something. I love stand up. I love watching. I love laughing. Make me laugh. I'll just every single time. During the competition, even right now, whenever a comedian would have like a great killer set, would come to them. Man, that was such a fucking great job. I laughed my ass off. So this is.
Well, I really hope, because there's some trouble right now in the English scene. Not trouble, just some bumps, let's say, road bumps. I really hope that the English scene, recovers from whatever it is.
It would be a shame to lose it, so,
well, we have Russian, but you have other performers who actually speak Russian, but they don't perform Russian. Why? And, and they, because I don't know, I would love to see everybody perform, because you never know when you sit. But the thing is, the only minus I think about it, for the past 6 years I've been performing, and this is so freaky, I've seen the same thing. I'm not even joking. It's the same thing being repeated.
It's the circle of life.
It's and this is the funny thing about any business. Although it's so funny, we just tied it up to everything. You look at what you did wrong before, and then you look what you did wrong, what you did right. In gaming, that's what they did. They looked at what they did wrong, what they did right. They took it and they made it better.
So you see, guys, this has been a 2-hour podcast right now, and we managed to tie the opening line of this podcast to the ending. Basically, what we want to see happen to English stand-up in Moscow, we wanted to have the same Cinderella story as Final Fantasy XIV.
And play it. It's fucking amazing. Get on Spriggan and I'll boost you. Bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you very much for listening. We are back. Hopefully this time on consistent basis. I will do everything I can to do this on a consistent basis. And we'll be back with a new episode. Check out our group's contact here on Facebook. This episode will be available tomorrow. As soon as I get home, I will be uploading this one. So guys, thanks for listening. We're back better than ever, hopefully. We'll see you sometime next week, 2 weeks, whatever. Just follow the fucking news in the groups. See you guys.